So the Prime Minister setting the stage so perfectly for the next 2 days. And this is something we've spoken about repeatedly, about how the relationship, the warmth between Mohammed bin Zayed and Prime Minister Narendra Modi seems to always translate also into great pride. And you see all the people here who are extremely excited. I can't speak to any of them because there's quite a distance right now, but you see all of them dressed in all of their finery. You've got 3 women here also dressed in the tricolor with a picture of the Prime Minister also on their phone. So you've got all these chants of Modi here, many of them dressed also in their regional outfits at this point to celebrate everything that really brings them together right now, their Indianness. So you can see that the atmosphere, of course, is picking up. There's a lot of music in the air. There's dance all around, and the celebrations are just beginning here. Because after this event of the Ella Modi, where you'll have Prime Minister Modi along with the President of UAE, you're going to be seeing tomorrow also the inauguration of the BAPS Hindu Mandir. And we'll speak to some of the people here to find out what really they think about that. But I want to play out for you a conversation that I had also with Ambassador Sanjay Sudhir. He is, of course, busy with all the preps. We caught up with him briefly also to talk about what really the India-UAE relationship is like, and importantly, what are the tangible takeaways to be expected. This was a conversation I had this morning before the bilateral kicked off, but here's what he told me about the India-UAE relationship and how it's transformed, how it's changed, how it's grown leaps and bounds in the last few years. And joining us here on India Today for a very special conversation is Ambassador Sanjay Sudhir here in Abu Dhabi. Good morning. Thank you very much for having us here, Ambassador. The Prime Minister's visit, 7th one to the UAE, to the United Arab Emirates. To you, Ambassador, to kick off this conversation, can you give us a sense of really what makes this visit special compared to the previous ones?
Well, it's a very special visit. As you said, it's the 7th visit in the last 10 years for Prime Minister. And in this duration, the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, has visited India 4 times. Every time Prime Minister visits, the relationship goes up several notches up. If you recall, in 2017, we signed the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement, and things have been flowing out of that. And today, our relationship is really deep and wide. It covers not only the old areas of trade and investment, but we are into FinTech now, into education, infrastructure, and so many other things.
What is going to be, a big talking point from the bilateral do you reckon, sir? Because there is, yes, a lot of talk about the Mandir, about the Indian diaspora event, and we'll get to that. But the bilateral itself, in terms of tangible takeaways, what's that going to be? Because I hear there's also some talk of a bilateral investment, takeaway that we could see, a deal on that front.
Well, for full details, I think you will have to wait a bit. But certainly we are going to sign the bilateral investment treaty. So within 2 years of signing CEPA, we are signing an investment treaty. UAE is already the 4th largest investor last year, and the overall 7th largest investor in India. And I think the BIT will take their investment to a different plane altogether. Today, UAE is the only country with which we have both a CEPA as well as a BIT. But in addition to these things, you will also see several documents being signed in connection with infrastructure, FinTech, and so many other areas. Just wait and see what all is there to come out of the visit. But one thing I mentioned is that every time Prime Minister visits, relationship goes up higher. So when he was here, say in July last year, there were 3 agreements signed. One on IIT Delhi campus in Abu Dhabi. Today that's a reality.
Yeah.
The first batch has already started.
Which way he's going to visit, I hear.
Let's see. The other one was regarding connecting our messaging systems. That's also, you might see a follow-up on that. Just give it a few hours. The third one was on an agreement on settling trade in local currencies. That's up and running. We have already done transactions in crude, gold, food, and so many other areas.
We've seen a breakthrough of sorts since 2015, really, when you look at India-UAE ties. And a lot of people correspond to that with the bonhomie between Prime Minister Modi and His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed. Do you see it that way, that the bonhomie, the chemistry, the love between the two leaders has really translated to greater ties between the two nations?
Well, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think the pictures of the leaders embracing each other are worth 1,000,000. So they say it all. Certainly there is a very strong bond between the leaders, and that this helps the relationship because there is this trust between the brothers which takes us very far. And that's why you will see that in the last 10 years, this is one relationship which has got completely transformed. 2 years back in February 2022, the day CEPA was signed, the leaders also unveiled a vision document. And that was some kind of a roadmap for our countries to traverse in different areas: education, health, infrastructure, space, in the international space as well, international affairs as well. So the vision is very clear, and where it is coming from, we all know it is a strong trust between the leaders, a strong bond between the leaders.
You say, Ambassador, that the vision is very clear. Why is it important for India to have great ties with countries like the UAE? Why is it equally important for the UAE to ensure that they have a trusted partner in India to use?
We have had civilizational, very ancient cultural, social, economic linkages with the UAE. This is an important country in the sense that it is home to 3.5 million plus Indian nationals, which is the largest number of Indian nationals anywhere in the world. They have been a very old trade partner since the days when we used to trade in pearls. So our first maybe voyages were to Port Rashid in Dubai. So it's history, it's a present, and also the future. There is a clear conviction on both sides that we are partners for the future.
And that's, I think, seen in the number of times we've seen the Prime Minister coming here to UAE, or for that matter, the breakthrough visitor of also Mohammed bin Zayed to Gujarat recently. Let's talk about the BAPS Hindu Mandir, Ambassador, because everyone's talking about how you have a Hindu temple now in a Muslim nation. And for the last many years, I know work has been in progress for this temple to become a reality. Can you just kind of retrace the steps for us, or what it's taken for this moment to come alive when we're going to see the Prime Minister unveil the temple now?
The BAPS Hindu Mandir is a symbol of centuries of social, cultural and economic connect between Bharat and the Gulf. It's a symbol of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And this temple is very different from the other temples which are there in this country, because this has come out of the vision of the leaders. If you go back to the first visit of Prime Minister Modi, this was in 2015 to Abu Dhabi, it was then that the temple was announced. And after that, this government has been completely supportive of this venture. They have gifted 27 acres of land for the temple, and they have provided all kind of facilitation and support. This temple is the largest Hindu temple in this part of the world. In addition to, of course, being a marvel of art and architecture, there's no steel used there. It's all stone blocks, one after the other.
So that was a conversation.